Nasat Khaf Rayay, student teacher of the master teacher. You guys can hear me good? All right, cool. Today's reading is called Ignorance. Number 1. Wu-Nuwaup is the science. Wu-Nuwaup is the science of science, sound right reasoning. And its inherents are the sons and daughters of sound right reason. 2. Belief is ignorance. Faith is ignorance. Yet Nuwaup is confirmation, facts. 3. If one has to have faith, hope, or to believe, then that means one thing, and one thing only. You do not know. And if you don't have facts or confirmation, but only faith, belief, hope, that is ignorance. 4. It is fine to wish, want, to desire, to wish for something, to long for something. That's fine, but not when it comes to our very soul, our destination, our outcome. No, no, no. So belief and faith when it comes to religion is ignoring the truth and facts, confirmation. 5. So the most deceptive word in any religion are the words believe, belief, and faith. Because you can believe anything, and this means that you can believe a thing and be dead wrong or mistaken. 6. But confirmation, proof, births, correct information, and the thing being confirmed gives you true confidence. That is by confirmation. Facts, not faith, but the real, not illusions, fiction, fantasies, the real deal. But belief infers doubt. 7. Wu-Nuwaup can be checked out by one or more of these tests. Experience, that's our bloodline, our genes, our DNA, as found in the many mummies uncovered in Africa's Egypt. 8. And there is evidence, that's what's dug up, uncovered, and standing, such as the pyramids, tombs, temples, papyrus, texts, writings on the walls, drawings, and reasoning, as we can do with Nuwaup. We see on those walls ourselves. We see our race, our own lips, our own hair, our own colors. That's what we see and reason. I am there. I am them. They are me. 9. Not some god or spook who asks you fear me, tremble at my name, kill animals for me, burn flesh for me, take others' land over as yours, kill people for me, rape for me, steal for me, lie for me, and never see me or have any confirmation that he or it really existed except by words of other men, books written by the hand of men called holy scriptures, men who call themselves prophets, apostles, Christ, but it's all hope. You sing he is coming, 2,000 years as to Jesus, and 4,000 years as to the Jewish Messiah, 15,000 as to the Muslim Messiah, and about their God, always unseen, unheard, has no flesh, is a spook, but an unseen spirit, no confirmation. That's it, or they ever exist. Truth is truth. 10. Ask how long is soon, how near is soon, how soon? 1,000 years more. It's been 6,000 years. You have been saying he is coming soon. He lets you suffer. He tortures, kills, gets sick, disease, deformed children, born, poor people, hungry people. And they claim to believe, but they get no help. In your own time, you can quote to us years ago, things written by men. But I'm talking about you right now. Look at the world. Babies die by the thousands each day. Children's taken, raped, killed, dismembered, bombs, guns, drive-bys, people hung in racism for nothing, jailed for nothing. You pray and pray, but nothing by hope, wishing. But still, today men kill men and women and children, dying right now. No one steps in to stop all the wars, drugs, poison. Why? Because you have been saying unseen, unheard. You can talk to yourself and think your God is speaking to you. You may be the one out of the hundreds who was saved, and you say, God save me, heal me, help me. But what about the other 99? You have to say 0. They did not believe in God like I do. That is the spell of ignorance. 11. Nothing he taught you is confirmed, but death of your physical body, that he knows you know, so he uses it in church, mosques, temples, are full of people who fear death, that's all. They are afraid to die. They want to think there is something better. So they sit each week and listen to a preacher preach about spookism, ghost spirit. Jesus died, but he came back alive. That's what they want to think will happen to them. 12. Then there are others in touch. There are others in church to make friends to listen to the music. That's all. No other reason. Fear to die. Lonely. Love music or singing of any kind. Religion is scare tactic. The most fear he can preach, the bigger the congregation of those who fear death or dying. No use for logical reasoning. 13. Nuwaup. Pass the test. The evidence is there. You are it. The experience is there. You are it. And that reasons out. When I say Jew, you know that's not you. When I say Jesus, you see a Caucasian. When I say Muhammad, you think Arab. When I say Egypt, you think pyramids, Sphinx. And then you see faces, dress, body, symbols. And your souls says, this is me. Those are mine. You reason out by experience and evidence. 14. That's your way of life. That's Wu-Nuwaup, Napata, Nabotia, Makuria, Nubia, Kush, Nangala, Bassa, Nuwaup from Napata, and Nuwaup from Nabotia. That's your confirmation. Don't believe me. Look it up. See yourself for yourself. 15. When I say Arab, you don't see self. When I say Indian, you don't see self. When I say American, you don't see self. When I say African, you see self. That's a fact. 16. You can always use this experience test because the experience test is not out of reach. You are the evidence and reason. 17. Know that Nuwaup is the science of experience, evidence, and reason, because 9 ether is the Sekhem, the 9 lives of the feline Sekhem Mut. That is our power, the great cat, Parut, the Sphinx, looking eastward, knowing the constellations are moving and knowing, not hoping that the alignment is coming when daytime moments. This we know, that is 9 ether's power. It's in the 5th element, woman, out of her nu, or nun, from a nun ray, her womb, birth in 9 months. 18. 9 ether by nature is female and male spirit forces, semen and ovum of all Nuwaupians, or Tahites, and the scientific name of 9 ether will be disclosed in the Wu-Nuwaup science, Nuwaup. When the mind of those Tahites capable of entering the new cycle have been qualified by breaking the spell of ignorance, our nature is called Netru. 20. Nuwaupian force 9 ether. First visit the minds of their posterity because they know that nothing can be done right unless the mind is right. And the mind cannot be right unless it has accepted Wu-Nuwaup, self and kind. 6 ether and spook ghosts cause Negroes to kill self and kind in many ways, a form of suicide by giving them blind faith, dreams of false powers and support, which is not there when 9 ether is killed or die for 6 ether. 6 ether and their spirit ghosts activate our people's mind foolishly to provoke their own death, lusts, weaknesses, all for the Caucasian's pleasure. 6 ether love blood of 9 ether. To have innocent blood is how they subsist. You sustain them. 22. And by your bloodshed, the 6 ether spirit force gets stronger and control this atmosphere and maintain Caucasian strength in his false religion. And this prolongs their domination over our people. They feed their cannibal gods your flesh and blood, dig up graves, remove your organs and eat them. They will kill, beat, shoot, stab, hang you. Fast cars, sports, drugs, poison, food, lust, disease, all to offer you to their God, Molech, who is an Elohim. He will beat or kill you right out openly because he knows you have been taught to fear death, and 6 ether is death. So you fear him. He can come in your home, take your children, your father, your mother, your wife, your husband, your leaders, right from you, and you are afraid to do anything. Take your home, land, money, and fear keeps you enslaved. As long as they keep fear in your heart, they can kill, and their gods are pleased with the offering, you and yours. 23. They seek your mind, soul, spirit, and body, and you give them by your belief in them, as they have of Jesus as Canaanite, a Caucasian, like father, like son. So if you accept Euro images of Mary, Joseph, the disciples of Jesus, then you are accepting that when you pray, our Father who art in heaven, he is also the same Euro image, an old Caucasian man. 24. The same with Hebrew Israelites, Jews. Now if you are a Rastafarian, you have Haile Selassie, 1892 to 1975 AD, as your Christ. But still the God in heaven has been stamped on your mind's eye in Islam. It's the same thing. The Quran even states evil people's faces will be black on Judgment Day. Quran 3:106 to 107. White faces are the color white and the color black, not shining or darkened, but abyad, white, and aswad, black. That's racism. Note verse 107. And as for those white faces, people, so they will be in the God mercy forever. That is right out of Islam, racism, as found in their holy Quran. The word for black is the same as Sudan, which is the root of black people world over. Sudan is the original name for Africa, and on all old maps, as far back as 610 to 632 AD, when the Quran was received. So how can I pray to a God who says that to his prophet Muhammad, which their book calls the Hadith and Sunnis, repeatedly describe Muhammad as a white, red man with straight fur? They make sure they point of that one of his followers was an Ethiopian, a black man named Bilal ibn Rabah, who called the people to prayer, a singer, and they repeat how Muhammad looked. And there are pictures done of him. His face is covered, but white hands and feet, as well as his family. As in Iran, you see many pictures of Hassan, son of Fatima, the prophet's daughter, by Ali, the prophet's nephew. These are drawing statues, not real pictures, but these people made them to look like them. So all that is in place in your mind's eye. You can pretend you don't see it that way, but your subconscious mind does it for your soul. 26. There's no way around their religions and their racism, hate of you. If you are my kind, you are my kin. That's a fact, and we can see our seed in Egypt, not in others. And as for the foolishness, we are the original Arabs from Ishmael, son of Kedar. That may be true, but back then the land was not called Arabia. There was no thing as Arabs, as well as while Abraham lived in Ur of Chaldea, there was no such name as Hebrew. And Israelites only came about because Jacob, son of Isaac, son of Abraham, wrestled with an angel in the form of a man. Genesis 32:22 to 32. Not such a good thing. Moabites and Ammonites, born out of incest. Genesis 19:30 to 33. Stop claiming we are Moabites or Ammonites, and stop claiming we are Canaanites, born out of the curse. Genesis 9:18 to 25. Lepers of Leviticus chapter 13. And as for the name Asiatic black man, they do exist. They are Dravidians of India, people of Punjab and Gangita plains. Dravidians or Nagas were the original Indian Aryans, dark-skinned with straight fur for hair, as found in their writing, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. They have Hindu gods. Their language is Sanskrit, and their evil god is Kali, who is black. 27. So Asia is a word. That's Asia, which means Orient, as in Oriental, Asian, Mongoloids, Japanese, Koreans, and others from Asia, who mixed as did Buddha, who moved from India to China and set up Buddhism. 28. You are not Asiatic black men and women. Even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught the original black man had straight fur for hair, and he used Asiatic black man in lessons, as did Prophet Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Americans. We are not Asiatic blacks. That was and is the Dravidians, original Aryans of India. Stop making false claims. You are put in tea bags in pure water looking for a new drink. The original people had no fur at all. Much later grew woolly hair, 9 ether, while the beast man, Bigfoot, from the caves has fur, 6 ether. 29. You are not any of those claims. Why do you deny what you can see with your own eyes on the walls of Egypt? The greatest of all people, all the Euro secrets, orders, go back to Egypt. Masonic Knights of Columbus wrote Rosicrucian, Astara, Shriners. The teachings of the Nation of Islam goes back to Egypt as the first civilization. So does the Moorish Americans. It's only to accept the Jewish Bible as their guide and Quran that talks bad about the Egyptians, and they don't even have their complete teachings or books. They need to reread these lost books, and there are even more than these they don't want you to read, and they hide from you and claim they were lost and never found. The Haggadah, the book of Lamech, the book of Ezra, the Midrash, the Zohar, the book of Enoch, the book of Enki, the book of Baruch, the Talmud, the Mishnah, the Gospel of the Gnostics, the Kabbalah, the books of Jubilee, the books of Jasper, the book of the wars of the Yahwehs, the tale of Adapa, the epic of Gilgamesh, the Enuma Elish, the myth of Zu, the life of Adam, and even all of the Egyptian texts, the book of the story of Adam, the book of the Acts of Solomon, the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah, the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel, many Dead Sea Scrolls uncovered in 1947 AD, and those uncovered before them in Egypt, Nag Hammadi in 1945 AD. They don't want you to know the truth about their history of flesh eating, killing, stealing, the reptilian root of their god or gods, their blood drinking and flesh eating past, how their religions are based on evil. You would not accept it if you only knew the truth. Join only to your own Nuwaup. 30. Nuwaupians are the solution to the racial problem. The solution to the racial problem is simple. Don't believe anything they say about religion. Don't accept their offer of any kind. They have bad or evil economic plans, moral plans, spiritual or religious plans, and social plans that are only problems to our people, and a plan to eliminate us, keep us blinded by their bright white light, keep us Negro and negative and in a slave mentality. 31. But Nuwaup, something they never heard of before. They can't figure out what you are thinking. They don't know what Nuwaup is or even means. So they can't classify you as they can if you say, I am Muslim. They say, which kind? If you say, I am Hebrew or Israelite, they say, which kind? If you say, I am Christian, they say, which kind? If you say, I am Masonic, they again ask, what kind? But when you say, I am Nuwaupian, they can only say, what is that? 32. That is the first step to being out of his reach and elimination of him. And his will lead, and this will lead to right thinking, free thinking, and right action for liberty and self-rule by the forces of our own ancestors of nature. Pa Netaru. 33. There's nothing wrong with protecting your own and the use of our own spirit force to counteract the adverse forces and show us the way to liberty and freedom. And we cannot see the way with his blinding white light in our face. Remember. 34. Remember. In their own Bible, St. Luke's 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, not from darkness. In 2 Corinthians 11:14, and no marvel for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, not dark light, fire, lightning, white, pale, as Isaiah 14:12. Lucifer, light bearer. 35. As unseen gods had to be transparent, clear, ghosts, an unheard God or Lord or Allah. If your God has never been seen by you, how do you prove he or she is real or exists? Unseen mean he or it has not been seen, confirmed. If he does not exist, or sum up to a thing, then he is nothing, non-existence, not even a spook or a clear glass, ghost, nothing, as their Bible, St. John's 1:18, 1 Timothy 6:16, Genesis 32:3. It's an angelic man verse, 24. That's what their Bible says. Is that what you call on for help? Nothingness? 36. But that existing religious system given you by other than your own, there is no solution to the problems and miserable conditions of our people anywhere unless you have a solution that is workable everywhere. 37. I, per amun nubre akpata, offer all my kin a do-it-yourself solution, which will make us stronger. It will unite us mentally to do what we must do. And he can't interfere because he doesn't even know where to start, because he doesn't have Wu-Nuwaup or Nuwaup or Nuwaupians in his dictionary. He doesn't know what it means, or to us or him. It's our forces. He can't even join in or invade us. He doesn't know where to start. That is our solution without his evil. He can't control us, or he can't control us as he can in other religions or groups who he has in his dictionaries. 38. All of us can work diligently and determinedly towards eliminating negative and slave mentalities. And it starts with us all doing it privately without committing suicide by provoking the visible adverse forces to brutality and atrocity against us. 39. When we, Tahites, have free minds of him and his, we speak Nuwaupic, live Nuwaup in all ways. Free minds mean we will do free things. Once we do that, you will see our mental capacity as personifications of original creative forces are greater than that of others. Once our mind breaks the spell, freedom requires a free mind, and the responsibility of a free mind requires self-control, self-rule. God in your own image, you the image of your own God. 40. The universal facts called Nuwaup informs us Tahites that there were 3 creations. 1. Original or primary creation. 2. Evolution or secondary creation. And 3. Ghostational or tertiary creation. 41. Primary creation was performed by non-ether or etherians whose science is Nuwaup. 42. Non-ether is a combination of all existing gases of nature, or neturu. Nothing anywhere can be as powerful as all existing gases. 1 to 9. Therefore, non-ether is the most potent power, second, in universe. So non-ether is the original creator who grew all the universes. 43. In Nuwaup, the 3 is called 1. Wu-Nuwaup, Atum. 2. Asanupu, Atun. 3. Nabanupu, Amun. The seeds of all creation, triple darkness, dark matter, blackness. As their Bible says, 1 Kings 8:12, the Yahweh said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. 1 Chronicles 6:1. 44. The word creation means growth into form or system out of darkness or blackness, the dark matter. 45. Non-ether is conscious and conscience gases. The Nuwaupian race, or Negroids, and persons of the African, little people, wrongfully called pygmy, came along with original creation. That is the same kind of ether force that grew the universe, also grew the dwarf, little original bush people, Bessites, Tahites. Therefore, the Bessites or Tahites, Nubans, and their evolutionary descendants are the personification of the original creative forces. 46. To make it plain, the African little people, Bessites, Tahites, created out of the universe, first in their spirit form by non-ether, then non-ether personified themselves as Pa Neturu, Inta, Pa Kaminu, Ontu, Pa Zajetu, and by Pa Kabetu as Pa Katu, personified as flesh and blood beings. 47. There are many kinds of ether between 1 and 9, but 2 stands out. 1, non-ether, and 2, 6 ether. 48. Non-ether produced 6 ether, just as Cushites, Negroids produced Canaanites, Caucasoids, and 6 ether produced ghosts. 49. Non-ether becomes 6 ether through time and age. 50. 6 ether is non-ether in death, and ghost is the death of 6 ether. 51. After the death of 6 ether, or their 6,000 years end, and their moon or ghost cycle, non-ether rises again. 52. So in fact, 6 ether is adverse to non-ether, just as death is adverse to life. 53. Non-ether is ether in its youth, strength, and old age, and 6 ether is ether in death. Therefore, ghost is the death of death. Like everything else, when dying gets old, or that which is dying gets old, it just dies. One is dead. 54. Death is a state, dying is the action, and dead is the stopping point or end. And ether comes back to life in the person of non-ether. Birth with each and or any Negroid and our forces of nature, Pa, Neteru. 55. Our ray, sun, and the other true stars generate ether, but non-ether first generated the physical bodies of Pa, Re, Act, the suns. In other words, the suns, the true suns of the universes, are self-created, meaning self-grown. 56. That is, grew out of dark matter by the very power that they now reproduce. 57. Our science, Wu-Nuwaup, tells us just how and when, but it suffices to state at this point in them that evolution or secondary creation started some 17,250,000 years ago, and it was performed by 6 ether, whose science is pantheism. Religion and 6 ether is known today as Leviathan, and use these many names and titles, and are attributed as if they are there: Jesus, Lord, Christ, Zeus, Law, Baal, Bel, Gad, God, Ra, Saul, Angel, Allah, El Shaddai, Adonai, Hashem, Thor, Hermes, Jupiter, Elion, Jehovah, Jah, Marduk, El, Yahweh, Yahshua, Dios, Messiah, Rab, Mesa, Mashiach, Elohim, Eloah, Theos. They will use any name, but it's linked to their 6 ether and down to 1 ether or demon force of ghosts, devil, Satan, Shaitan, Iblis. And they will stand right next to you, smile, and call out, Jesus is Lord, or Allah is great. But it's evil, deception, false, to win you over to their demon god or gods, ghouls. 58. They will lead you to their religions to win your soul, and after your death, to give your grave site to ghouls to eat your flesh or brain, all in its moon or ghost manifestation. 59. Evolution was partial destruction of original creation when they were born with disease of leprosy, because destruction is change in form or composition or both. So with them came disease, death, sickness, world over. He is a disease, and now he spreads it by sex force, lust, sex, open and free. And young Negroids world over are being tricked by sexual pleasures to indulge and become diseased with VDs of all kinds and die and kill those you have sex with, self and kind. That is part of his offering to his God, and you do it because it feels good, feels godlike. 60. 6 ether, the evolutionary force, is ether with less gases than non-ether. 6 ether is fur and non-ether is hair. 61. Therefore, if it has different nature than non-ether, and this is why the 6 ether has the same fur as all other beasts on this planet, because they are not human beings, but beastmen. 62. Non-ether beings grew hair, 999, while 6 ether beings grew fur, 666, or straight. 63. As you see, when a baby is first born and its genes are weak, it has fur, not woolly hair. As its genes get stronger, its fur curls to become wool, wool-like, or nine, nappy, kinky. Then as they age again and their genes weaken, their hair changes to fur, and then they die. 6 ether is death. 64, which means it has less strength than Tawhites. If your hair becomes straight or straightened because you wish to look like his women, because you have been taught to hate your own image of your gods. 65, woolly hair was produced by a more potent gas formula, 9 to the 9th power of 9, never ending. 66, 6 ether is also conscious gases called devil, in which lock in wars, witchu or warlocks, sorcerers, wizards, in Caucasian mythology and theology. 67, ghost is conscious gas, which has less various gases in it than 6 ether or sex ether, sex ons. Therefore, their ghosts or spirit forces is much weaker gas combination than non-ether. Just as 6 ether is weaker than non-ether, semen is efficacious fluid fire. 68, originally as gold liquid gold, but much has been lost by mixing with 8 ether, 7 ether to 6 ether. Now, Negro lost his ether, fluid forces. 69, ghost station or tertiary creation was done by God or ghosts 6,000 years ago with the birth of Canaan. And this is one reason why Caucasians, Caucasoids, Caucasus Asians, New Celtics, who are Germans or German, now claim to be Aryans and changed Hindu god Krishna to Christ. And this is the main religion that the Caucasian taught the captive, Christianity. Once many saw that did not work for them, they became Jews, then Muslims. But behind each is the same 6 ether force. They each teach that the world was created by an unseen God 6,000 years ago. Their Adam, down, means blood. 70. But they did not and will not tell the captives, they, the Caucasian world, those who blush in their transparent skin as they explain the name Adam and Strong's of their Bible from Numbers 112 to 133, be it Mudda, Edom, or Midda, MDA, Adam. The same 3 letters, and also the same in Arabic, Adam, flush, show blood, turn rosy, red, ruddy, rosy, red, garnet, reddish, redness, red spots. That is not black or brown. It's rosy, red like the word rosy, leper, lepros, as you can read so clearly in their Bible book of Leviticus, chapter 13, 1 to 59. Who were they? Leviticus, chapter 14, 33 to 34, and verse 54 to 57. They are unclean. They will not teach these facts. 71. 6,000 years ago was the birth of their Adam, named in their Bible Canaan, Genesis chapter 9, son of Cush, who had a curse on him, the albino, groups called Canaanite, was the beginning of the Caucasian race, and Cain was their mindset. Kill, kill, kill. 72. So when 6 ether reaches climax in evolution, it produced ghosts, and ghost is God, German, Gut, Hebrew, Gad. 73. The posterity of non-ether is the Negroid, the non-ether, woolly-haired Tawhites. The posterity of 6 ether is the Celtics and others who chose them of the Mongolians and Indians. 74. And will die with them. They were all grafted and extracted from the original Tawhites through gene splicing and ghost process to become human. Ghosts are transparent people, soulless. 75. When seen with the spiritual eye, ghost looks like haze or fog, and that means ghost is white and thereby the last stage of color. So since the Caucasian race came into being, by ghostation or death of the body by the disease of leprosy, it has less color than any other race. All the original Caucasians or Canaanites has white fur, transparent skin, and white eyes, like their gods, the Pleiadians. But now, they have made it a point by using religion to intermingle with other races and took on some color, yellow to red fur, blue to green eyes, pink to cream skin color. Don't be ignorant of these facts about self and kind of your kin. Without beginning, without ending. Okay. Okay. As the master teacher explained, over the years, right, the master teacher has always taught us that in the concept of trying to create Nagarus, right, he always talked about it was 3 geneticists. Those 3 geneticists was always considered the rays: a Tumray, a Tenray, a Munray. Here he's giving you their other names: Wu-Nuwaup, Asanupu, Nabanupu. If everybody remember the Nambal, when Baba, he wrote the book, but when you look at the authors of the book, it says the authors, Wu-Nuwaup, Nabanupu, and Asanupu, right? Those are the 3 geneticists that work with Ray when in the concept of creating mortals. Because you got to go back, when it goes back to our creation, you're talking about Ray the being, right? Ray the being that's responsible for our creation. And coming into our creation, we always talk about how we come from non-ether. Non-ether created, our creation started as us in our etheric form, right? And then in our etheric form, we in turn gave birth to the sons. And it said the sons in turn gave birth to us, non-ether being. So all true sons is really black. Now when we talk about creation, you're always talking about a group. It's never one person. So when you talk about the creative force of will, who do we call the creative force of will? Who, right? Who is the creative force of will in our doctrine, right? But who he's always constantly accompanied by 2 beings, Hika and Sia. You understand? Hika and Sia. One being the personification of miracles, and the other one dealing with perception. In the old schools, the master teacher had taught us that there are 3 realms. He used to teach us Malakut, Lahut, Nasat. The realm of the Most High would have been Lahut, right? The realm of mortals would have been Nasat, and the realm of the angelic beings would have been, come on, right? So now in ancient Egypt, if you translate that to ancient Egypt, the realm of the mortals, right, would have been Hika. You understand? The realm of the angelic beings would have been Sia. And the realm of the Most High would have been Hu, or Hu He. So these beings work together, and these are the beings responsible for our creation. So you might hear stories about concepts like panspermia, or the genes of a mun, or the seed of a mun being sent to the planet Earth, or the seed of life. Because at the end of the day, we all come from that original seed of Ray. Ray could be a person, or it could be the sun. But remember, when we think about the sun, or even think about Ray itself, we have a concept in Egypt. When you think about the eye of Ray, what is the concept that most people say when they see that? They call it the what? The all-seeing eye of Ray. Not realizing they're talking about all, the concept all, and how the all itself have an eye. And that eye is who? Ray. And from Ray comes other beings. Why Ray is a combination. When you think about Ray as a being, all the deities is all a composite of him. So when you look at the 99 deities per se, you're looking at 99 deities, or Islam took it and said 99 attributes, right? But you're looking at these 99 deities all coming from that one being. But it's given like that, but it's always a group. It's never just one. In ancient Egypt, we never taught that it was just one being. You understand? But people who may have read Egyptian books of other cultures of that matter, right? They may think that Ray is just the only person. You understand? But it's always been a group of them. And this is why when this concept came into religion, even though they teach it the same way, where, okay, religion to us, if we had to explain religion as a Nuwaupian, and somebody say, what is religion to you? as a Nuwaupian, right, a religion should be the institutionalized realization of the existence of the all, in all, and one's relation to the all, right? Why? You could get that in the sacred wisdom of Tahuti. You understand? So it's nothing made up. Now, when you think about this concept, religion teaches you that God is the Most High, right? But they failed to answer the question of how is he the Most High in a place called heaven? Because that would mean that heaven has to be bigger than him because he's in it. You understand? These concepts, they taught it like that because many of the Caucasians who taught these concepts, we know that they plagiarized it from ancient Egypt. And because they never understood our concepts, they gave it a watered down version. But that watered down version was the same thing that was used to help us come out of the spell. Because in this day and time, if you want to help a person in any of those religious school of thoughts, we can now cross-reference with what they know and bring it back to ancient Egypt. So when they say God is the Most High, we can relate that and say, okay, that's Ray. But is Ray in a concept? Yes. What is that heaven that Ray is in? All. So the heaven concept in the Bible is really all. But a religious person would never see it like that. You understand? Until you start questioning him and say, how is that possible? He could be in a heaven. The master teacher said, if you have a God, your God shouldn't be in heaven. He should be heaven. You understand? So these three geneticists, they were just the ones responsible for the seeding of this planet right here and our creation story. And he just now revealing the name because oftentimes the master teacher teaches, right? And the way he teaches so that you, as the student, can put it together. He never teaches linear. He always teaches circular. So that you can get this book, pull that information, get that book, pull that information, and then you can say, I came up with this. So it's not dictated to you because you're a God as well. You understand? Any other question? Yes.
Rahubat, yes, sir.
Rahubat.
Listening to what you're saying, as Etherians, we personified here. Is that what you're saying?
I don't understand.
As Etherians, we personified here as Tarites.
Yes.
Okay.
As Etherians, we first personified the sons.
So therefore, the sun would be like a gateway or a wormhole or something of that sort for us to be able to personify from an etheric or plasmatic state to this physical state. There's a process in which one has to go through, right? Mm-hmm. Would that be the doorway from that realm, if you will, of existence to this one? Would the sun be considered a doorway or a vortex or a gateway?
I would say this. I wouldn't call the sun a doorway, but I would say this. By virtue of the sun personifying, right, it had to come from the next realm. You understand? Because remember, the sun is made up of what? Hydrogen and helium. So me and that is made, and many other elements, but these are the elements that's most abundant in the sun. So if hydrogen is the element that makes up the sun, hydrogen and helium, we can say that Etherians had to come through the etheric realm through a threshold into a physical realm in order to create a sun. So the sun would be like a personification of Etherian. You understand? As a being itself. Because in Egypt, we call the Most High the sun. Right?
So then that's a stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a stage. It's definitely a stage.
Okay.
And from that stage, right, everything come into existence. Because when you think about it, everybody creation story starts from a sun.
See now, what you just said, from that stage, everything come into existence.
In the physical sense.
Okay, in the physical sense.
Exactly.
Because that can lead to some confusion.
Yeah.
So, but because everything is already in play, but it is going through whatever stages to get from one point to the next point to the next point, or the next manifestation or next personification, etc., etc.
Yep.
All right, cool.
And just to add on, when you look at the sun, the mere fact that it's made up of hydrogen and helium is telling you it came from another realm. Think about it. Because what's before hydrogen? What's before hydrogen? Ether, E1, right? So in order for a sun to be formed, it had to come from that realm that we could call now dark matter, right? And then it had to come on this side. But in the scientific world would just take it as, if you talk to a scientist, they would just say the sun just came about, Big Bang, and all this stuff happened. And the problem with that is that they ignoring the fact that the universe, how everything is set up, is done uniquely. It couldn't have been done by chance. You understand? Because if chance was the way, you understand what I'm saying? The sun wasn't created by chance. It was created by someone or some beings. And those beings would have been the Etherians. You understand? Any other questions?
Okay, I got a question, and it may seem like a kind of odd question, but what I'm thinking now is, why would one want to move from the etheric stage of existence to this physical stage of existence?
Why would they? You talking about why would the Etherians want to do that?
Why would one wants to move from an etheric stage of existence? And I am under the, well, I won't say conclusion, but I am thinking it's a less chaotic state of existence than this one, because we're dealing with the realm of light, which is, and in this realm, in order to exist, you have to destroy something in order for you to survive, right? So why would one want to leave an etheric state of existence to come to this state of existence? I don't know if you can answer that question, but I'm just putting it out there.
I would say this. That's a question that we all should ask ourselves. Because why? I say that is because the master teacher has always said, you thought yourself into this realm right here. Right?
Right.
Meaning, when we think about the concept of all, we got to understand that solidity is an illusion, right? And we teach that all is mental. So all of us here is a mental projection of that concept called all. So that means that each of us here right now, we thought ourselves here. This is why the master teacher would say, you asked to be here. You understand? And we never could get that. How would we ask to be here? And we always show you the little concepts of things that you don't want to do while you're here in the physical realm. Whether it's self-control, whether it's obedience, whether it's we was at one time under the rule of our ancestors, and we chose to be in this realm. And we could also think our way back. And in this day and time, him being here, he's giving us the tools to do just that. According to the reading, he's talking about having discipline. You understand? So he gives us things like the lodge, the OES. Those are to teach you, even though those are schools that some people may say those things are given to Europeans. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty of who created those schools and where it really come from, we know it come from Egypt. So the Egyptians themselves created these schools in order for people to learn discipline on planet Earth. But why would it be necessary for you to learn discipline on the physical realm? If you come from an etheric realm, we have to cross-reference. This goes to the point where you got to learn to reason from the unknown to the known, made known. No different from how a scientist could sit in a laboratory and tell you that the sun is 93 million miles away and not using a ruler. At this point, we all asked to be here, and by virtue that we're here and we're not connected in the way that, let's take the master teacher, for instance, is connected. We fell from grace. And if we fell from somewhere, that means we came from somewhere. And all the master teachers here doing for us is making us remember who we are, what is our purpose here. So why would we want to come here? That's a question that we all should ask each other. Because we all was disobedient while we're here.
Now, you're making statements of fell from grace. We asked to come here. We have to go through different schools, etc. Yet, this is a mental projection. So, tie in the mental projection with falling from grace.
Tie the mental projection with falling away from grace?
Falling from grace, yeah.
I don't understand.
Well, if it's an illusion, how can you fall from grace?
If it's an illusion, how can you fall from grace? If someone hit somebody right now, isn't it going to be a reality to them at that point, even though we live in an illusion? Check this out. If you ask any scientist, is solidity an illusion? They're going to tell you, yes, it is. That means everything that we see that's physical is not really physical. It's just an amalgamation of atoms together. They're not even stuck together. But because of the vibrational level that you're vibrating on, it's perceived to you as a reality. In reality, in all reality, solidity is not here. This is not real. This, although we could hit it, if I was vibrating on a higher vibration level, I could walk through this. There's a reason why the master teachers say things that we don't ask them questions. When he say, wherever my picture is at, you can see me. Most people don't believe that concept. Because if you're an Etherian or a person who could transfer, become an Etherian at will, wherever you are, or even without a picture, you could be there. He taught us one time that if you're in your house, right now, if all of us was to think back to our apartment just before we came here, or wherever we was before we came here, the moment you think it is actually happening. Because you got what's called a time stream here. Time in the future is happening. Time in the past is still happening. And all those existences are still linked to what's called now. So if you read the Man from Planet Risk, Baba tells you that we live in a time called now. And you have statements like, if you're a person that's too concerned with the past or too concerned with the future, you forget or you miss the eternal reality, which is now. Because this is the only thing that's happening. You know what I'm saying? So, everything is an illusion, but based on the mental level you're in, you'll be seeing it different for you. Your perception is changed all based on your mindset. It's things that we learned in this culture that made us see things differently. Where you could talk to someone who's religious, they're on another dimension level. We don't even understand how through words, the master teacher is raising us up in vibrational levels. Where, go ahead.
Now, based on what you're saying and what I'm thinking, this is what's coming to my mind. Based on the illusion, right? And what you just stated, it boils down to one's vibration. So I surmise that it depends on your vibratory rate. It's what your perception is going to be. Am I right? Yeah? So now, if everybody in this room is pretty much on the same vibratory rate, and I'm assuming everybody pretty much is, because we're all here, and we're seeing each other, and we're in this physical format, then we're pretty much on the same vibratory rate, vibrating in this so-called realm. Right? Now, we have teachings from Baba, Panababianam, which helps us to raise our frequency. Right? So we can see things that we don't usually see or would not normally see. But once you begin to see these things, because, we read where in the teaching it talks about beings who no longer had a need for the body and were able to raise themselves to a certain point and move on, right? So based on my question before with the illusion, and you said the perception, we have a perception of all. If we have a perception of all, then all is an illusion based on what you're saying. Is that correct?
All is.
All just is. All just is. So or cannot be a part of the illusion itself, is it?
Okay, where risks reside, right? And I'm gonna correct you. We all are not on the same vibrational level. Even though you're looking at us right now, you may be on a, for instance, you wouldn't be able to tell what vibrational level a person is on unless you have that spiritual eye that can see.
Well, I don't mean exact frequency, but I mean in terms of tonnage, it's like, you know, you're within a certain bracket, if you will. You know what I mean? Like you have a wavelength and we're falling between that stream. We maybe have different frequencies, but we're within that stream in order to be here.
Okay, so check this. This is how it's taught. Ilion is a place that Baba taught us about, right? And Ilion means what? Illusion, right? Or the word that we would use is Ihem, because Ilion is still a Hebrew word. Ihem, I-H-M, right? Baba would tell us that they, the Neteru, exist in illusion. They exist in illusion to us, right? And we think this is the reality when it's really switched around. The reality is where they rest at, and we live in the illusion. You understand? Because things on the etheric realm are what they are. Things in the physical realm is what we perceive them to be. You understand? He will explain that a square on the physical realm is not the same square on the spiritual realm. They do not look the same. You understand? So things in the spiritual realm as opposed to the physical realm are different. Things in the physical world is one way, things in the etheric world is one way. And the etheric world, which is really the reality, is what we call in the reality now. I mean, what we call in the illusion now, sorry.
Okay, so that's where the concept of life and death comes in as well. Because in order to get back to what is considered reality, you have to die.
No. See, that's the thing.
Or complete the cycle of death.
This is the thing. In science, they teach you that energy cannot be destroyed, right, or created. And all of us are here made up of energy, right? So by the fact that we all made up of energy, we don't die. You just go to another state of existence. What the master teacher is trying to do for us is, it's like training. Planet Earth right now has become like a training for us. Meaning, right now, there are forces on the planet. If released, everyone can turn into a spiritual being. And by virtue of the Philadelphia experiment, which you can research, it's a fact that if you put a lot of gigawatts of energy on a person's zero time reference, they can turn to a spiritual being, right? So there's forces. That means there's forces, gravitons that's right now holding us together as a prison. So we're in a prison by forces of nature. You understand?
Uh-huh.
So being that we're in prison by forces of nature, that means that if the forces of nature was touched with someone, if someone was to activate bombs, or let's take the scientists are doing experiments with the Hadron Collider. That type of experiment, if they was to do that uncontrollably, right, they can make people die. Because if you take it back to this Philadelphia experiment, just messing with the zero time reference of the planet and people on it, everyone can turn to a spiritual being and die. So the reason I brought this up is because as a physical being right now, being that there's forces that hold you together on the planet as a physical being, the master teacher is here to prepare you to go to that realm. Because just like we are on planet Earth right now, right, in the physical, in the flesh, there are people on Earth right now who are considered more intelligent than other people, right? These beings could come and start making you question everything that you claimed was real in your life. So that means, in a sense, on an intellectual level, they could run circles around you and make you question everything you believe in. Now, in the spiritual realm, Baba also said the spiritual realm to the Etherians is just as physical to them as this realm is to you. You understand? So the thing is, if you go to the spiritual realm without being educated, see, Baba's spiritually educating us, because when you get to that other side, there are beings that's over there that's been living for eons, because they've been living so long they lost the concept of time. And sometimes we even use the term and say time don't exist. You heard us say that before, right? Yet we'll say, what time does class start? What time does class start? Well, I thought it don't exist. You see what I'm saying? So on this realm, we have relative, things are relative to us, and we deal with things relatively. Like I said, on the etheric realm, everything is what it is. You understand? So Baba is just preparing us on this realm so that when you make that transition, you can be in a realm where you accept it, you receive by your family members on that side, and you won't be so far. Because even though we non-ether beings, you have other beings who could also shape shift and transform, who are not non-ether beings. You understand? On the other realm. So Baba is making a full circle so you could be educated in every angle of this realm so that you can go home to the next realm without being blindsided.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, you know, because we're speaking in terms of realms and so forth. And there's realms within realms within realms and, you know. But the illusion, the word, that illusion is what I'm trying to wrap my mind around. Because all these different realms, and they exist at that moment in time, if there is because there's a time continuum for different realms or planes of existence, right? Every realm has their time continuum, like this one does. However, there is an illusion, I don't want to say concept, but there's an illusion factor involved here. So whether it's physical, mental, you know, the plane of thought, whatever different realms that we deal with, I think these may be different degrees or different parts of that illusion still. You understand what I'm saying? So getting back to that source now, then where's the reality?
Reality is all. See, we're supposed to Baba's trying to get us back to the all. Right? So he gave you an all affirmation.
But when you're dealing with the all now, you're not dealing with physicality. You're not dealing with bodies. You're not dealing with mind.
Say that again?
When you're dealing with all, right? You're not dealing with physicality. You're not dealing with bodies. You're not dealing with.
Are you in the all right now?
I am a part of the all, yes.
Are you in the all? Are you in the love of all?
Yes.
Is all a part of you?
Yes.
Are you all?
I'm a part of all.
All is I am. You
Yes.
are all. Right? So being that, just the whole thing, Baba's trying to get us to the point where you can merge back with the source. The source is all.
But I'm already a part of all.
Exactly.
Okay, but I'm talking about the illusion aspect here.
The illusion is just on the physical plane.
Okay. See, we're going to go around in circles now. But I don't want to hog the mic.
No,
but,
you can ask. What's the direct question that you're asking? Just the direct question.
All is, when you're dealing from the point of being all, there is no illusion. All is, right? When you start to get into the all, and you start to somehow perceive within the all and become a part of all or a part of the all, that's like the illusion that we're talking about, isn't it?
But that's the illusion you created, because there is no the all. Baba said he gave us the term the all. It's just a step way into coming into the concept of realizing that you are just all. There's no definite article. That's just a learning mechanism. He's easing us into the concept of us realizing that we are all, and all is in us. That means that if you take a child, I'm going to do simple. Every child is born with the potentiality to be anything that their providers or their guides, their parents, put into them. If you have a child and you teach them to be an actor, right? The potentiality to be an actor is in that child. But also the potentiality to be a scholar is also in them. But you didn't activate that part of them. You only activated the part as an actor. So what I'm saying is, every child that's born, they are born with the potentiality of all. They can do anything. Anything. They're not limited. There's no limitation on all. Bible said when we start dealing with quantum physics, we're dealing with limitation. But when you go beyond quantum physics, you're dealing with all. There is no limitation. He said in a class, he said, I'm a being that come from all. And I come here to talk to you guys. And I bring you up to a certain level. Then I go back into all and wait for you to catch up. That's the master teacher.
Yeah, I get that because his mind is clear. His mind is clear. You know what I'm saying?
And what he's trying to do for us is get our mind clear. And how he had to do it is he came with the concept. I come to give you what you want so you learn to want what I have to give. If the Sacred Wisdom Tahuti book is very old. But the whole time he was teaching religion, we never came to class and said, Baba, talk about the all. We came to class and said, Baba, tell me about Jesus. You understand? So Baba, as an angelic being, he's not here to make you do what he wants you to do. He's here as a servant for you. So anytime he teaches us based on what we're asking him. So in a sense, he become our servant because he's only gone by us. He gave himself a limitation and said, okay, I'm going to do 30 years of what you want. And then after that, I'm going to come and give you what I came to give. But isn't this 40-something years now? We're in the 40th year, right? We're in 30-something years, right? Is the books still have religious quotes in it? Yes, right?
Yeah.
That's because he's still trying to help you. Because a lot of us are still religious. A lot of us still have religious concepts. A lot of us still can't get over certain our basic concepts or our basic belief. If you was raised in a Christian household, even if you become a Nuwaupian, you still have concepts of Christianity. All you got to do is ask a person, I'm a Nuwaupian, you are? What do you think about more than one wife? Oh, I don't think that's right. As a Nuwaupian.
Say it again.
I said, if you ask a person who came from the world, came into Nuwaup, simple stuff. A simple thing is polygamy, right? There's Nuwaupians right now. They can lie if they want. They have a problem with that concept. Right? Right? Yeah. Now, if you have a problem with that concept, then you're not at the level of really retaining certain information because check this out. You're still in a mindset of the oppressor. The oppressor gave you a mindset of relationships. And that concept could have been in Christianity. In Christianity, it says, one woman, one man. So you got people who say, I'm Nuwaupian, and they shun polygamy. So when you shun polygamy, right, you're saying, I'm shunning a part of my culture. Instead of saying something like, there's parts of the culture I'm still learning, and there's parts of the culture that I don't fully understand in my own being yet, but it's not wrong. And for those who practice it, and I'll wait until I get to that level. But people don't do that. Oftentimes people shun it. You understand? And still make it like, oh, it's bad, except for when Baba doing it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we got to get out this concept where our mind we have a confined mind. And everything that we learned kept us confined. So what the master teacher is doing for us over the years is take us through those stages. Because as he's taking us through those stages, what he's doing is breaking the barriers on our mind. We have religious barriers. We have psychological barriers. We have racial barriers. You understand? That we have to break and get rid of. And once we get rid of those stuff and really get to the point where we could accept our culture. When he says give them back their stuff, that's a literal statement. That means give them back their thoughts, their ideas, everything about what they teach. And then when you come and ask them a question now, right, it won't be anything relating back to their culture. Because now you're in your own mind as a Nuwaupian. You understand? Y'all understand?
I understand where Steph not coming from, and did great. I just want to say, just to add on then, that we keep forgetting that, well, two things based on the things she was talking about. One is, we chose to come here, right? That's our reality. We chose that. As when Menes always said,
we had a choice, and this is what we wanted because we wanted our own way. We wanted to do what the hell we want to do, right? Okay. Another thing based on the illusion. What Panabab say? I am the only one could vouch for my illusion, my reality, because you is an illusion to me. I just envision in you or what I think you should look like or sound or whatever. Yep. So all of this around me is an illusion, right? Another thing is you go back to line 39 again. What said? I understand what you just said, that we have to give them back everything. Because he said on line 39, if we speak Nuwaupic, if we live Nuwaupo, is another third one. If we something else Nuwaupo.
If free minds of him, and if we speak Nuwaupic, live Nuwaupo in all ways. Free mind means we will do free things. Once we do that, you will see our mental capacity as personification of original creative force are greater than that of others. He said once our mind breaks the spell, freedom requires a free mind, and the responsibility of a free mind requires self-control, self-rule, and God in your own image.
And that's where we have to strive to become, so we could see, we will have a different concept of everything what's going on, and then we will realize the power who he can sire. That's when the miracle take place. So we still have work to do. Because
so according to Wu-Nuwaup, what's the line drawn when it comes to male and female relations? Or is it like an open expression to where, you know, no form of relation is a wrong thing?
You talking about relationship?
No. I'm talking about, because you just made reference to if polygamy is a wrong thing, right? And people are stuck on having just one man, one woman type of situation. Where, as Nuwaupians, do we draw the line for people to have relations? Because, you know, what, can we get married at the age of 6? I don't know.
Okay, in our culture, right? We have a culture, and a person has to be 18 when you have a relationship in a tribe, right? Polygamy. As a man, I'm gonna tell you this. One thing the master teacher taught about relationship is stay out of other people's bedroom. That's one of the things he taught us. However, as a man, you have a daughter? Okay. Treat a woman the way you want another man to treat your daughter. That's all I'm going to tell you. If you love your daughter, which all men do, when you get a daughter, imagine if you was a man that was thinking ill thoughts about relationship with women. Imagine if another man did that to your daughter. Or even you in a household and another man is doing that to your mother. One thing we are taught is to respect women, and vice versa, women to respect men. So once we all are able to be on that level where we know what the highest quality of respect means when it comes between a man and a woman is respect. Respect is just respect. Look at it again. Before you do something, look at it again. Is that right? Before you do it. You know what I'm saying? Polygamy is something that's supposed to be respected. Women are respected. You understand? And I know I opened a worm by saying that. I didn't want to use that example. But, you know, I was just trying to get to a point. But ultimately, at the end of the day, in every relationship, the best answer I could give you is treat women how you would want men to treat your daughter. If I had a daughter, I want a man who want to date my daughter, come to me. You understand? Talk to me about my daughter. Because if I don't accept you, she ain't accepting you. That's how it goes. You understand? I feel like your family, you know, a lot of people have relationship problems in the world because their relationship is separate from their immediate family. You see, when your father don't know your man, your husband, or the future husband, that man don't know your father, he's liable to abuse her. But if he get into a relationship with your father and know your father and get to know the mannerism of your father, he would dare to try to disrespect that man's daughter. Same vice versa for a woman. If a woman got to meet the mother of the man that she want to be with and get to know them and be a part of that family, you know, live with them sometime. Because in our culture, when you getting married, in our ritual, you're supposed to be with that family to get to know them. Opposite, you know what I'm saying? So they could get to know your personality. So they could know I'm not giving my daughter away to an animal, to a sex addict. I'm not giving my son away to an animal or a sex addict. You understand? Our culture is to be, everything is to be done in order, according to nature. Not no loose sex, anything. That's Makasu thinking. We respect our people. And it starts from, you know, love. We always say love and unity. We say your saw is family. But the reality is this. Your love of your family is the only time. I'm talking about your family as in your child, your husband, your sister, your brother, your blood one. Because oftentimes we say that in the tribe, but it's not real. Because you know, if your blood sibling did something to you, right, you would not write them off for the rest of your life. Right or wrong. You won't do it. You know that if your blood sibling did something to you, y'all fight over it, you get over it, you move on and realize that that's still your brother, that's still your sister. You understand? So the first form of love we learn in the household, in our immediate household. So when the reaction that you give to your blood brother is supposed to be the same reaction you give to your Nuwaupian brother or Nuwaupian sister, because in reality, we are blood related. Because there's a blood seed that got all of us in this room right now that we don't acknowledge that much, because a lot of people is not receptive to right knowledge. And if you find in a room where this much people is receptive, they are related. There's a genetic contract that each of us have. And Bob is the one that activated your awareness. And you could get that from Man from Planet Risk. You understand? We all have a genetic contract to wake up at this time. And all of us woke up differently, but it was by the same man. Whether you walking on the street, meeting somebody who was selling books, whether you met somebody who had a book, you understand? Whether you heard a tape, whether you saw a video online, but once you heard the word on book or on audio, you activated and you said, there's something right about that information. So in a sense, we all are related. In reality, that's the reality. We're related. And we got to start getting to the point when we look at that as reality. And if we are related, we have to do everything in accordance the same way we would do it for our blood family. Everybody should be on the same level. It shouldn't be, I like you, so I'm going to overlook what you did, and he did the same thing yesterday. And you didn't do the same thing to him, because that's your blood relative. You understand? So Bible always say, look at the children. Look at how they react with each other. Children could get into a fight right now. 5 minutes later, they playing again. You understand? Adults, for some reason, we don't function like that no more. We get into a problem with somebody, 5-10 years later, they still not talking. You understand? So we should become like the children and don't allow them to become like us. Saying to Dr. Malachi Zior. Any other questions? Okay. All right, with that, I'm going to end class. Thanks for coming out and get home safe.
Thank you.